graduating students of the class of 2018, family members and friends, distinguished guests, faculty members, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my great pleasure and honor to applaud all the graduate students for their great achievement. Congratulations. As I'm sure you remember, this year has been marked by a very sorrowful event, the tragic passing of one of our students, Mr. Ato Boring from Cambodia. I would like once again to extend my deepest condolences to his family and friends. Despite the time of sorrow immediately after his passing, I should add, many of you quickly organized a campaign to collect donations for his family. I was very impressed by your display of sincere sympathy and solidarity. Thank you very much. This year, 12 students obtained PhD degrees and 160 obtained master's degrees. We would like to celebrate your achievement together with your family members and friends. 46 countries are represented by the class of 2018. It must have been a great opportunity for you to jointly engage in serious academic studies within such a diverse group of people from all over the world. The friendship you have cultivated at GRIPS will surely be the basis of your valuable assets. Because of such diverse backgrounds, each of the graduating students will face different kinds of circumstances and challenges in his or her country. But there are common challenges to all of us. For example, we experienced extreme weather events over the past few months in Japan. Heavy rain, landslides, typhoons, and the heat wave. The extreme heat hit elsewhere too. Canada and Finland. Huge wildfires occurred in Cambodia and Greece. A big hydroelectronic dam was broken by flood in Laos. It is hard to determine the exact causes of these extreme weather events, but in all probability, they must be related to anthropogenic global warming. As Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, recently said, I quote, "Climate change is the defining issue of our time, and we are at a defining moment." The end of quote. This is the reason why the international community agreed in Paris in 2015 to keep temperatures from rising more than 2 degrees Celsius from pre-industrial levels. But concerted efforts are still weak. There is even a move to withdraw from the Paris Agreement. As Mr. Guterres warned, I quote, "If we do not change course by 2020, we risk missing the point where we can avoid runaway climate change." The end of quote. Efforts of reducing greenhouse gas emissions should be multiplied. But even if we could somehow slow down emissions of greenhouse gases, the climate system continues to produce volatile and extreme climate events because of the effects of the accumulation over the past 2 centuries. In addition to efforts of mitigation of climate change, we need efforts of adaptation by increasing our capacity of disaster risk reduction. The global economy also faces many challenges. The multilateral trade system is in jeopardy. Increase of unilateral actions and attempts at bilateral arrangements on ad hoc basis can weaken and further complicate the already weakened multilateral system. On the other hand, in order to make international trade and investment more attuned to the dynamically changing technological landscape, the system requires additional rules and regulations about intellectual property protection, rules of technology transfers, regulations about data privacy, and so forth. Sustainable economic growth of less developed countries or least developed countries is a continuing challenge. The eradication of extreme poverty, SDG 1, is impossible without sustainable economic growth of the least developed countries. That is the reason why SDG 8 has a special target of achieving 7% growth of per capita GDP of the LDCs. But actually, the LDCs per capita GDP grew at much lower rate than 7% over the past 10 years. According to the FAO's recent State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World 2018 report, the number of undernourished people has been on the rise since 2014, to have reached 821 million people in the world in 2017. The extreme poverty and hunger are in many cases correlated with other conditions targeted by other SDGs: health, education, safe water, electricity, and other basic infrastructure. These socio-economic challenges are often further complicated by ongoing military conflicts and organized violence. The number of refugees and internally displaced persons is unprecedentedly high in recent years. The world continues to face geopolitical challenges too. Despite the historic summit between the United States and North Korea in Singapore last June, it appears to require lengthy negotiation until North Korea agrees to completely dismantle nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles. The trade disputes between the two largest economies in the world are being intensified and further complicated by their geostrategic implications. So the world you face is full of challenges. As administrators, as researchers, and as leaders in various fields, you are expected to manage, study, and lead in your respective affiliations. I believe what you achieved at GRIPS will surely help you tackle policy challenges you face. What you wrote in your research papers or thesis may be directly relevant to your future tasks. But more often than not, assignments or academic challenges you face do not allow direct applications from what you studied at GRIPS. I don't believe you should worry too much. As many of you already know as experienced professionals, problems that appear totally new on the surface are new only because of differing arrangements of their components. You can decompose various parts and you find problems and tasks you feel familiar and manageable. I think you have done a lot of concentration at GRIPS. You spend time deepening your knowledge. Concentration and deepening are always necessary to conduct any academic work. But by taking various courses not in your major academic concerns, and by exploring non-academic activities in Japan, you must have widened your scope of interest and experience. Widening your scope of interest and experience will help you tackle problems that appear to be new on the surface. With such wider scope, you may be able to successfully decompose a hard and intractable problems into more manageable and familiar parts. But then, you have to deal with many decomposed parts. And in any complex organizational setting, you have to respond to many problems simultaneously. You have to prioritize. Otherwise, you cannot accomplish critical part of the complex problem. Well, this is easier said than done, but I would like to say, don't allow what is called the tyranny of the urgent to dominate your life. As a proverbial factory manager told Charles E. Hamel once, I quote, "Your greatest danger is letting the urgent things crowd out the important." The end of quote. Unless you are vigilant on time management, you will be entrapped by this tyranny of the urgent. What appears to be urgent may not be actually so important to be done immediately. Set aside time to do the important and that should be done today. As a child, I was often told, never put off till tomorrow what you can do today. This is generally a wise dictum, but sometimes the following may be wiser. Never do today what you can put off till tomorrow. You should prevent the urgent from crowding out the important. To do this, you need prioritization. Your experience at GRIPS should help prioritizing pressing issues. Global challenges that I touched upon before also pose the global community a similar problem of prioritization. The world is full of urgent challenges, but globally too, we should not allow the tyranny of the urgent to dominate the global governance. Mr. Guterres told us not to forget the climate change. It is an important task of academic institutions, especially specialized in policy studies, to contribute to the global efforts of such prioritization through serious research and education. We know that 17 Sustainable Development Goals and 169 targets are all important. But to be effective, it should be critical to find out structurally critical relations among these goals and empirically find out solutions that could effectively help realize many other goals. We have to find out the important among huge number of the urgent. This is our task, and this is what you have done in your research papers and dissertations. Based on your experience at GRIPS, you can prioritize your work, you can prioritize the national policies of your country, and you can eventually help the global community to prioritize the global issues. This year is the 21st anniversary of the establishment of GRIPS as a national university, and the 41st anniversary of the establishment of its predecessor, GSBS. Over our 41-year history, more than 4,700 talented students from 115 countries made serious studies here and are now contributing to the betterment of society throughout the world. The network of these human talents is yours. GRIPS is redoubling its effort of supporting activities of the alumni, such as establishing alumni associations internationally and in Japan. Graduating students of class of 2018, I would like to thank all of you for your contribution to GRIPS through your academic and non-academic activities. Last Sunday, I attended the Culture Day events and enjoyed the performance of many of you. I was very much impressed by the high quality. That was wonderful. Also, I applaud you for your voluntary activities and extra academic activities in the summer program. Well, no matter where you live from now, GRIPS is your home away from home. We will welcome you whenever you come to Tokyo. Congratulations again, and good luck.